Y'all shit.
Yeah.
I shit, you shit, we all shit. It's something we have in common.
Gender is a limitless dimension beyond the binary of just woman or just man. Gender is as vast as space, as limitless as infinity. It is divine ground, uniquely your own between light and shadow, between science and superstition, between yin and yang. You are the captain of this dimension of imagination. We call it Drag Danger Zone.
No doubt the astronomer priests of ancient time held sway over their people, but I doubt it. Think again. But the magic of the moon's movements above our heads goes to even more astonishing levels. By some incomprehensible quirk of nature, the moon also manages to precisely imitate the perceived annual movements of the sun each month. More than 25,000 years ago, an early astronomer created a lunar calendar that is still intact. So, when the sun is at its lowest and weakest in midwinter, the full moon is at its highest and brightest, just like me. And in midsummer, when the sun is at its highest and brightest, just like me, the moon is at its weakest. If you want to understand how extraordinary this doppelganger effect is... Doppelganger? I know a thing or two about that. Doppelganger? Camera angle change. Subtle camera angle change. So in any given location on Earth, a total eclipse will only happen once every 360 years. One can only imagine how primitive peoples may have feared for their lives as the sun was apparently extinguished before their eyes. A total solar eclipse is never forgotten. I know I didn't forget it. I was amazed when I saw it. Look at figure 3. Look at it. I said look at it. These kind of lunar observations are not restricted to southern France, where each eclipse sequence has a duration of approximately 6,585.32 days, which is, of course, 18 years, 11 days, 7 hours, 40 minutes, and 48 seconds. I just did that in my head. I just knew that. I just happened to know that. Human knowledge about the movements of the moon is far older than most people might imagine. Well, I imagine it being really old, and if it's far older than that, that's really fucking old. The people who carved this moon map were the first scientists. They knew a great deal about the motion of the moon. They were not primitive at all. God, how long are you gonna look at that goddamn figure? I don't know about you, but I'm not following. On this part of the cave wall, there were 29 dots snaking around the bottom of a beautifully executed painting of a wild horse. A wild horse. A painting of a wild horse. Look. Look at us. Let's just all read it. Can we just all take turns reading it? I doubt it. Can't we all just get along? I doubt it. I question everything. Agree to disagree. Think again. What else could it be? By having the apparently magical power of predicting such terrifying events. And the woolly mammoth disappeared. I used to date him. It wasn't a good time. He never got the check. He never got it. The totality is very small. Very small. But even today, the magic and mystery of the eclipse is very real. Sudden transition. In primitive societies, people were often grandparents by the age of 30. It is a very strange quirk of fate indeed that the disk of the moon should seem, from an earthly perspective, to be exactly the same size as the sun. Which one? Most people are fully aware that the moon is tiny. Tiny. Can you imagine? Huge! Nobody knows. The existence of lunar calendars from such an early date is of great importance to our understanding of our own development. Someday you're gonna blossom into a woman, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing.